What's up and welcome back. I'm John Stark from MacTheMovieGuy.com, your favorite blind film critic, and today we're going to talk about Happy Gilmore 2. Folie à deux. Not really. No, actually, this is not a folly. This is actually not a travesty unto man. So click like, share, subscribe, hit that notification bell, and we're going to talk about Happy Gilmore 2 here on my channel. I'm a blind film critic, which means I watch things with audio description. This film does have audio description. It was done by Descriptive Video Works, narrated by Justin Smallbridge, and yeah, the track was pretty solid. We'll talk about it though. There's a lot happening in this film. Adam Sandler's been stewing on this idea obviously for quite a while, and I'm not 100% sure this is the sequel that I would have made, but it's the sequel we got. So first off, right off the bat, spoilers, because I need to tell you what the movie's actually about, and unfortunately, I think IMDb doesn't know what the movie's about. So I don't know. I don't watch trailers. I don't know what you know about the movie, but I'm going to actually present you the realistic plot of the movie. So the film stars Adam Sandler. And then from downstream from there, Benny Saftee is probably the second largest role, which is pretty cool because, you know, obviously they had fun together on Uncut Gems. He plays Frank, who is the head of this extreme golf league, like that's trying to get rid of regular golf. It's kind of ridiculous. Anyway, we also got, I would say Christopher McDonald's probably in third as Shooter McGavin. He's in here quite a lot, which is good because I really wanted him. It made sense for him to be here, especially considering there are pathways because of the death of Carl Weathers that Sandler in this movie, The Happy, needs sort of like a mentor. And I thought, especially considering where everything goes, that it made sense for them to sort of team up and mend bridges and all those kind of things. So he's in quite a bit of it. After that, man, that's tough. To try to pick who like number 4 would be. It's not Julie Bowen. I can tell you that. I don't know. Maybe the Sandler that plays his daughter in the movie. I don't know. After that, it just doesn't even matter. We've got Ben Stiller's back. He's playing that character that he had in the first movie, but now he's the head of like an AA program. That's not a real AA program. It's like Alkies something. It's a running joke that didn't quite work for me, but he's here a lot. He has, okay, so the plot of the movie is that Happy, you know, was going about his life. He ended up marrying Virginia. They had a ton of kids. They had a whole bunch of boys who all really were into hockey, and they're all this like, it's just like a conglomerate of brothers that are all basically like the same type of human being, and they all like want to get in fights and stuff. And then he has this one girl, and she wants to do ballet, which is played by one of his daughters. His whole family's in here. I even think his mom's in here. There are 4 people other than Adam credited who have the last name of Sandler in this movie. So one of them is his daughter that's played by this. His next oldest daughter is playing this character Charlotte, who's one of the people who's in the AA meeting. I didn't catch which one Jackie's playing. I saw it in the credits and I can't remember what that character was. Like the name didn't after the movie, I wasn't like, oh, that was Jackie. Oh yeah, that was a memorable role. And then the mom, his mom is in this. I also, same thing. I was like, I don't know. So there's so many like little cameos in here. It's ridiculous. This movie has more cameos than the first one does. This movie has like surprisingly large amounts of cameos, some amazing people that they couldn't have gotten for the first film because nobody took it seriously. So obviously Hollywood just showed up and backed up the truck and opened up the door, and people just jumped out and they're like, we're in your movie now. So yeah, the Julie Bowen gets killed the same way his dad did at the beginning of Happy Gilmore, For anybody who doesn't remember that, he had a hockey puck just hit and killed his dad, and then he went to go live with his grandmother. Well, Julie is on the driving range until Happy hits a wild ball that ends up striking and killing her, and then he ends up becoming an alcoholic and realizing he's an idiot and that she was the one that handled all the finances. So even though he's super rich, he was all of his money. And so they go live in this like house on the poor side of town. And he has to get like a regular job, and he doesn't know how to pay for. His daughter gets accepted to this prestigious dance academy. He doesn't know how to pay for it. So he's trying to look for a way to get back in, but he hasn't played golf since his wife died. So he's terrible at it, which means he needs a mentor, which I was like, oh, this would be a great opportunity for him to jump back in. You know, let's bring some Shooter McGavin up in here. But it gets a while. It takes a while for Shooter to really get there. They do some weird shit with Shooter, and eventually he comes back in, and you get what you want out of the Shooter McGavin role. So he ends up jumping back into golf to try to win some money, because he remembers that even if he places 30th, he wins if he can get on the pro tour. So he's trying to warm up, and he gets back out. The first time out, he's on the golf course with this like group of just like regular folk, just like not even trying to be pro players, just casual golf players, and they're looking for a fourth to round out their group, and he goes and plays with them, and he's really bad. He hits like one ball, and it's funny because they don't realize he's Happy Gilmore, and he keeps trying to do his shot, and they're like, oh, look at him, he's trying to do that Happy Gilmore thing, and he keeps missing and whiffing, and sometimes he chips the ball, but he hits it over into the woods or wherever. So he has a hard time getting his mojo back, but his kids keep pressing him, and he uses these like sort of like virtual golf machines that you can use to check your driving clubs to get his swing back. Eventually Stella gets his groove back, and he joins the pro tour at just the right time, because Benny Saftee's Frank, who Adam Sandler was originally approached to join that Max Golf thing, he did not have a great encounter with Benny and dumped him into like a lobster tank. So they're sort of at odds. He also, Frank tries to recruit Shooter, and he gets Shooter out of the sanitarium where he's at. But what breaks Shooter, because it looks like Shooter wants to, there's a whole thing with like Shooter, and he's like, well, I'll get revenge on Happy. He stole my jacket, all that kind of stuff. And, but what breaks Shooter is the idea of destroying the game of golf. Like, he's really into like the sacred game of golf. So he's not going to go with Frank. So he ends up on Happy's side with the regular golf players, who are, all of them are here, except Tiger Woods. I don't even know everyone who plays golf, but I'm sure everyone but Tiger Woods is in this movie. I don't know what, I'm sure Tiger was offered a chance to be in the movie, and maybe he's like FOMO right now, and he's sitting around going like, my God, man. Like, why did he turn it down? Fucking Jack Nicklaus is in this movie. Like, where's Tiger Woods? Jack Nicklaus said yes to this. So, yeah, everyone's in this movie. Scottie Scheffler gets the MVP card of the guest, because they do he allows the self-deprecating humor based around his arrest, the time that he was arrested, that leads to some really hilarious moments. And he gets a little bit more screen time because there is a little bit more of that with him. Like, there's a little bit of backstory. So you get to see, we check in on Scottie a couple of times, and I don't know, every little gag with Scottie actually made me laugh. There was like a few times with him where I was like, this is, I don't know that anybody's going to remember this with incredible specificity in 20 years, because it feels like such a pop culture thing right now. But, and I think some people are gonna be slightly confused if they don't already remember it because it wasn't that big of a deal, but I got it, like, I picked up on it. But then again, I also live, sleep, eat, breathe, you know, pop culture. So, Gilmore has to get on, to be on the team of 5 from regular golf, to compete against the top 5 from Max Golf at their own sport because they wanna beat them and shut down Max Golf permanently. But Max Golf is ridiculous. It's got, like, I don't know, all these that's the only thing that I felt like, both in terms of the movie and in terms of the audio description, I did not understand Max Golf at all. Like, but also the movie doesn't really do a good job of, like, describing it. Like, it doesn't really, like, what are the rules? Are there any? Are there any rules? Like, it just it seems like if golf, if mini golf became, like, large scale, and there are 7 holes instead of 18, and I'm like, why 7? That's not even half. It's less than half. Why did you choose set? There's so many questions I had about Max Golf that just didn't make any sense. I think that was part of the problem, was, or the point maybe, was that they tried to make Max Golf as stupid as humanly possible so that you wouldn't, and all of the golfers who play it are really just, like, over the top. So Frank thinks he's figured out why Happy golfs the way that he does and why he's able to hit with all the speed that he does, which involves, he found some guy back in, like, the 50s who could hit like Happy, but it was because he had this, like, separated part of his spinal column around the waist. So it allowed for more, like, flexibility. So he gets, like, a whole bunch of people who are agreeing to have this, like, surgery done so they can all hit like Happy Gilmore. And it seems like a lot just to just to be good at golf. Yeah, you can sever my spinal column. That's fine. This feels like totally legit. Um and yeah, I guess you're gonna have to figure out. I don't want to give, like, the whole movie away, but I'm trying to set up what the movie actually is. So Frank's Benny Saftee's number 2, not Julie Bowen. Julie Bowen's in this movie for, like, it's sad because I actually saw her do press, and she did an interview for this movie where she was, like, really excited because she was like, I can't believe I was asked back for this movie. I really thought I wasn't gonna be. I'm like, you barely were. Adam Sandler had the gall to be like, hey, Julie, will you want to come back and do Happy, and I'll send you the script. And then she was probably got really excited. She's like, oh my God, I'm going to be in Happy Gilmore too. And then she saw the script and she was like, well, I'm not doing anything else. So I might as well. She does appear in, like, some dream sequences. And then she does that thing. They love to do that thing where it's like, what was it? It's a Rise of Skywalker, where you just see all those faces in the sky. They do that again here. And it's like Chubbs and Virginia, and some other people are all like Grandma, and I think Bob Barker was staring at him. I think they CGI'd Bob Barker in the sky. It was like a whole bunch of people who had died over the course of, like, the first 2 movies. There's somebody who dies during this movie, and I think somebody said, like, fatality or something like that, which made me giggle. So there are a shit ton of cameos, man, just a shit ton, and some of them aren't even really cameos. They're just great casting, like sort of lost in the crowd of Sandler's kids. Connor Sherry, who was really great in Snack Shack, he plays one of Sandler's boys. None of them really get enough individual time to really stand out, but that was kind of cool. We've got Robert Smigel's back in the same role as last time. Dennis Dugan's back in the same role as last time. Lee Trevino is back, credited in this. I'm trying to think of, like, who else. Lovell Crawford is playing the son of Chubbs, who was a joke that really didn't work for me. He also didn't really need to be there. Like he's in the film more than he needs to be, because really, honestly, Shooter should be having the screen time. The kind of mentoring and stuff and the back and forth made more sense, and it felt like we were trying to go there. But again, this film is really, it's like almost too cluttered. It's like Sandler couldn't figure out what to do with every single character that he wanted, and then they all just like threw them in together. So he ends up sort of having like two mentors, because Shooter's kind of mentoring him, but then he also picks up like Chubbs's son, played by Lovell Crawford, who lost his hand and has a wooden hand, but not from the same accident, from another really stupid reason. We've got Bad Bunny is here as Oscar, this guy that is just willing to do like anything for money. He just runs around and whatever. Travis Kelsey cameos here. Oh my god, like the Sandler regulars that you see, Rob Schneider with the "you can do it," like I think that's literally all he did, but he did it. You Jon Lovitz, I clocked him with his voice. He's in here for like 5 seconds. Blake Clark is in here for like 5 seconds. Steve Buscemi plays Sandler's neighbor, who keeps trying to like, Sandler's daughter is like practicing ballet, and his neighbor is like also practicing ballet. I don't know. It's whatever. Who else is in here? Michelle Fernandez is has a brief part in here as like one of, he's like, I think the only current cast member of Saturday Night Live who's actually in this. I think everybody else is like, has either been hosted or whatever. Kevin Nealon's obviously back. Margaret Qualley's in this. There's some people I was just like, all right. I'm gonna miss people because it's ridiculous. Eminem is in this, and the funny thing is they make a joke, but it's not really at his expense. There's the hosts are talking about, Happy sort of returning to the game, and somebody, one of the announcers, while he's getting ready for the thing, says something about how palms are sweaty, knees weak, arms are heavy, or mom spaghetti. He starts like saying some of the lyrics from 8 Mile, and yeah, I mean, not all the jokes land. I'm not saying they're all great jokes, but they go for a lot of them. Yeah, there are just an unbelievable amount of cameos in this film. I'm not gonna remember. Plus, again, there are at least 15 pro golfers in here. At least. It's ridiculous how many pro golfers showed up to make little cameos in this thing. Some of them have a little bit more because they make the team along with Happy. Haley Joel Osment is playing a character that we're supposed to be, I think we're supposed to believe was in the first film, but he's not the same actor. So that was where Sandler didn't get the actor. There's a bit that they do with the original caddy. I'm trying to find the word caddy. The original caddy that he strangled before he got the homeless guy. And Alan Cobert's not in this, which is really weird, because I mean, as somebody who's been like the right hand of Sandler for so many years, it feels so weird that Alan Cobert's not in this. But yeah, he didn't get that kid back, the kid that got strangled. So it's like Haley Joel Osment instead. One of the big failings about the movie is that for some reason, when they want to, the movie doesn't live on its own. It lives itself in the shadow of the original film. So anytime they do a callback to the original movie, they don't just assume that everybody's seen Happy Gilmore and that they would get it. They have to show you that scene from the original movie, and it doesn't work. Like, it took me out of it every single time. I was like, why are we cutting back? Why are we showing old footage? Like, do we think nobody remembers this? So they do a thing where it's like, so like he's back, right? And he's like, oh my God, you were my caddy, and now you want to caddy for me again, and no, I'm actually a golfer now. So, and then there's the heckler, right? But the heckler has been replaced by the heckler's son. So they do a whole thing with that. But then when they do that, they cut to like footage of the heckler, jackass. You know, they do that whole thing. And I'm just, but why? Do you think people are watching Happy Gilmore too that are like obstinate about watching the first one? That they're just like, oh no, I'm not gonna watch, but I will watch the sequel. But I'm not gonna watch that first one. I know it's been around for 29 years. But I'm not. I'm gonna go cold into Happy Gilmore too. So thank God for these flashback references. No, it's so weird. That was one of the things I didn't like about it, was the flashback cuts. It takes you out of it. Other than that, he's a little bit older. He's a little bit, he doesn't quite have the same energy to him, but of course he wouldn't, because again, 29 years have passed. So he acknowledges the fact that he's like 58, and some of the other golfers are a little bit older than him, and they're like, oh no, we can't go out there with those youngins. They've got too much energy in them. I don't know. So, yeah, you know, there's a little bit of that, and Happy's supposed to feel like he's part of the, I don't know, senior PGA tour, but he doesn't want to be yet. He wants to be still part of the other, fit in with the cool kids. So that's one of the many things. There's a lot happening in this movie. Is it good? I think if you liked I think if you love the first one, you'll like the second one. I think if you like the second one, you'll think this one is okay. It depends on how much you liked the first one. So because the film is so referential and repeats itself and has so many callbacks and throwbacks, and even if it can't get the original person, it's got somebody to stand in the place of that original person. And it has tried to loop everybody in. Like, for example, Robert Smigel's character, for some reason, again, that's another flashback thing where they take him, and in case you forgot, he was in the original movie, even though they directly reference exactly what his character was in the first movie, they still show it. So Smigel played the insurance adjuster at the beginning of the film, who ends up going in to try to take Grandma's house in the first Happy Gilmore movie. So he comes in this time, and they need a lawyer, and this time is Robert Smigel, and he's like, yeah, I got tired of being thrown through windows and and people hating me, so I switched jobs and became a lawyer. And of course his whole family just sort of erupts, and they're like, oh, we all hate lawyers, and blah, 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 lawyers suck. And but he's there to help you know, Happy. But it's just like, it's even the same character. At least the others were like callbacks to different people. I also don't understand with Haley Joel Osment, if it's not the same actor, then why are you showing me a different actor? Did you de-age Haley Joel Osment? Because Haley Joel Osment would have been like a little child in 1996. He did, to give you reference, he did The Sixth Sense in 1999. So 3 years prior to that, supposedly he was caddying for Sandler. So, yeah, it doesn't all work. But it ends up being, you know, Sandler has used this Netflix deal to give a lot of people work who don't normally get work. And he probably could have gotten more people into this. You know, there are people, I think, I want to say Chris Farley's brother's in here, if I remember correctly from looking through the credits. But like, there are a ton of people who don't normally get work, or don't get work really much anymore. Like last time I saw Jon Lovitz, he guest starred on Tires, and I just feel like he's like, why aren't we doing more with him? He's still funny. Like, can people not figure out how to write for him or give him a show, or can he not be part of an ensemble cast? It's so weird that he's just in these little throwaway roles. I don't really care about Rob Schneider anymore, but yeah, some of the other actors that just kind of pop in and out of films. I do kind of wonder like what happened to Alan Covert and why he's not in Sandler movies. I'm sure there's like a story behind that. They probably had a falling out. This does have the same writer as the original Happy Gilmore, which is why it should retain some of the humor. The co-writer that wrote with Adam Sandler is the same writer. So, and he also guest stars himself. He was a former Saturday Night Live writer, Tim Heisler or something. I don't know. Yeah. Happy Gilmore 2 isn't quite as good as Happy Gilmore. It's not iconic, but it's funny enough that there are a lot of, they're sort of like my top tier Adam Sandler comedies, which would be like obviously Happy Gilmore, Big Daddy, 51st Dates, Wedding Singer, and probably Billy Madison. Maybe Just Go With It. This would probably be like the top grouping. I'm probably forgetting something, but those would probably be like I like Crazy Nights. But basically, once he started the Netflix deal, it's just been like, I was kind of worried about this. I was like, I don't know, is this going to be another lackluster film? Some of them have been okay. Like, I wouldn't give every single film he's made at Netflix a rotten score. I actually really like the animated film that he did, Leo, with Robert Smigel. I thought that was charming. But yeah, for the most part, he hasn't made a string of hits under his Netflix deal. I mean, they've been hits for the streamer, but they're definitely not his best content. The stuff he's most iconically remembered for are his earlier works. So I was wondering if it would be more like that or more like his Netflix films. It's sort of a happy medium. It's sort of in between. Yeah, it ends up sufficing. It ends up being, if not the best Netflix comedy he's made for them, easily top 3. I mean, I can't find, I don't even know all the Netflix comedies, but I know I can't find more than 2 to put above this, that were made by Sandler. I don't even think I can find more than 1. There might be one that I'm not thinking of. I will entertain that as an idea, as a prospect. But it's definitely a step down. I just wanted more from this. It feels like a sequel that was cooking so long that it changed. And then we got this like extreme sport thing put in there, and like the revisioning of a sport. And I was like basketball, like, what are we doing? Changing a sport to make it work for you instead of being able to play the sport. So, yeah, I mean, when you look at the other legacy sequels that we've had that have worked recently, like Top Gun, Maverick, he could have gone the route of mentoring somebody else, which he almost has the possibility because, there's the route of this caddy, that comes in. He also has enough children that he could have easily mentored one of them as a golfer. It would have been kind of cool to see him mentor his daughter instead of his daughter being the ballerina, if his daughter ended up being interested in golf, because there really isn't a strong representation of female golfers here. One of them plays on the Max Tour. Otherwise, like, they don't exist. Like, Indy Park, Michelle Wie, people like that are not here. So that could have been kind of cool to see him take over the mentorship role and then his daughter go win the LPGA. But again, that's not where the film wants to go. The film wants to just kind of show that Happy Gilmore hits rock bottom and has to jump back up into it. Luckily, we didn't shortchange Christopher McDonald, and he has plenty of screen time because he's great as Shooter McGavin. I think he's one of the film's stronger aspects. That and the bevy of weirdly entertaining cameos. Definitely shout out to Scottie Schffler. Kudos to allowing yourself to be the butt of the joke. A very obvious joke, but still, yeah. So Happy Gilmore 2. Yeah, the only thing that I could say about the audio description is also the same thing I would say about the movie. I never really quite understood what Max Golf was, but I think that's also a failing of the script of the actual film. Is Max Golf is just this weird sort of entity where people kind of walk up and do anything, and like it has no rules. He briefly explains, he's like, we play faster, we have a shot clock, we have 7 holes. Like, these are not rules, man. what is Max Golf? So, I'm gonna give Happy Gilmore 2 a 7.5 out of 10. I gave the original like an 8.8, so I think this one is definitely not as good as the original, but also I think it's one of Sandler's. He's made a lot of movies, so it's easy to say it's actually on the better side of things, but it still isn't part of like his top echelon. This is like the second tier. It's a second tier Sandler movie. After you get through your favorites, and there's that like grouping of Sandler movies that you liked, but you don't necessarily need to watch them over and over and over again. This is in that grouping for me. So yeah. If you want to watch Happy Gilmore 2 and you like the first one or love the first one, you'll probably be fine. So if you didn't like the first one, why would you be watching it? It's a sequel. It's gonna be the same thing. So thanks for watching, thanks for subscribing, and I will see you guys on the other side.